Hey, welcome to BreitWerks. So I was just gonna do this as a short because really the car doesn't need a lot of work, but I thought about it and said, you know what? This car's been out in the wild for 4 years. We delivered it in June of 2020 and just wanted to take you through some of the stuff we did and how things are holding up, because if you're looking for like a opinion or advice on what worked, what didn't work, let's just take a quick look. So we'll start at the front. So this was a replacement Dansk lower valance. So we had completely disassembled this car and sent it off to a paint shop. And well, not completely. We took everything apart that needed to be taken apart. We didn't pull harnesses out and all of that type of stuff, but I'll show you the interior later. But so this was a replacement from Dansk and it really fit well. We did not put a lower lip back on it. That was the owner's preference. Other thing we did, all of this stuff was powder coated, right? So your front crush bar, actually looks like maybe he's got a low driveway somewhere, but all of that really is holding up very, very nicely. So for people who are like, oh, I'm just gonna spray can this stuff, this is how powder coat holds up. It really, really well. And I think all I did was I put a coat of spray wax over it before we sent her home. What else did we do? I know we did strut inserts. We did turbo tie rods, which all of the bushes and everything are holding up very, very well. Lower ball joints still good, and all of these bushings. So we replaced all of the rubber bushings, and that was a kit that we got from Elephant. And those are, you can see those are holding up after 4 years. They are still soft, which is absolutely fantastic. So this side, kind of the same thing. Everything looks really, really good. The car came in, it had a weird problem with the brakes. There was no pedal until about the last 1/8 inch at the bottom. But all it took was a fluid flush and pedals back. So I have a feeling at some point we'll be in it for a master cylinder, but not right now because everything worked. Now we stayed with the trombone cooler on this car, even though it's got a 3.2 short stroke in it. So it is making more horsepower, which horsepower equals heat. But what we did was we got the Elephant Racing line. These are the finned lines that basically act as an additional oil cooler for the car. And he hasn't complained of any overheating issues. I don't see anything that looks like it got hot. So all of that seems to be working well. That might have been one of the last antennas that we could get, the Hirschmann's. Let's see what else is going on under here. Yep, sway bar bushings are holding up very nicely. Again, all of this stuff was powder coated, so that's all seeming to hold up. The new motor mount / transmission mounts seem to be in pretty darn good shape too. Well, it does look like we put a clutch cable in this guy, and he's probably, I think I calculated out the car has about 3,000 miles on it roughly from when we originally delivered it. Looks like all of our bolts have stayed torqued. One of the things, I'm not sure, I don't remember who it was, but the owner had sent the transmission out to somebody and they had basically sprayed it with something, and I really did not think it was going to hold up well, but it seems to have held up pretty well. So hey, color me wrong on that one. But let's see, as far as the engine is concerned, all of that stuff, like you see these little yellow spots, that's from that stuff that I've showed you guys a lot in the past called Bow Shield. So that's just what Bow Shield leaves around. But it looks like all of our gaskets are good. All of our base gaskets are in good shape. This is the famous, oh, I can't believe I don't remember his last name, but Aaron used to make these. Now you can't get them anymore. These were some of my favorite oil sump plates. It's an M&K muffler, And one of the things that the owner did do after he got it back, it was pretty darn loud. So he put a plug in the right side pipe, which is what Brian from M&K recommends to quiet him down a little bit. She's still pretty rowdy, but quiets it down a little bit. Muffler's looking in pretty good shape. I don't see too much of anything going on there. The SSIs are good. You know, we'll clean those up. But right now we're just doing a oil change. So and everything's very hot. So once it cools off, we'll give her a little detail. But we also did, this is a great piece. So instead of having to buy the entire engine tray for the rear, I guess that's considered the front of the motor, there's a guy who makes them in it's not carbon fiber, it's just fiberglass. And I had him do this one in black, and it looks like it's holding up really, really well. So super excited that that worked out. All the powder coating on the old tins seems to be holding up. You know, all these old tins are still looking good. You could probably go back in 2017, I think, was when we had first gotten the engine in. And then we ended up getting the entire car to come in. But there's a little bit of staining right there, but that could just be a little weep from the S-hose. But I think this one we did put a new thermostat in, because when we took the old lines off, it didn't work. So we also put in all new, everything's brand new on this car. We had the oil cooler out and ended up having it painted, which looks like it's holding up pretty well. So from an underside, everything is really seeming to have held up pretty well. So once I get this guy down, we'll do the same thing along the top. Like all of these, I remember putting all this stuff in, and my buddy Jackson remembers putting all that stuff in. But it's all holding up very well. Like none of the seals have popped or shrunk so that they're not sitting in there correctly anymore. Let's make sure that we can say the same thing on the other side. Yep, the other side is in there very, very nicely. Let's see in the back. Yep, everything is really, really nice. And then this one, I'm trying to remember what torsion bars we put in it, but yeah, everything. Owner spared no expense on this little lady. So that platinum metallic actually in the sun it's pretty hot. So we'll get her down and take a look at everything else. But yeah, Flash, 4 years later, who'd have thunk it? All right, stick with us. All right, so we're back at the business end. I really do like how that lower valance came out. That was the valance that we ordered from, I'm talking about this part down here. We ordered that from M&K, and it comes as a solid piece, and we had to do the cutouts, but that worked out well. The Euro bumperettes are holding up nicely. Everything in here is just, you know, stayed nice. The owner's taken really great care of it. You know, if I had this to do over again, one regret I have is the MSD box. I'd have gone for a 3-wire CDI box. These things are just not holding up the way we expected them to. And this one may be working a little better because we stayed with the Beru plug wires. So they're a bitch to get on and off the caps. Something about how Beru made the newer wires, they really don't like to fit in the caps. But this is a Blaster 2 coil, all decked out to look like an old Bosch. But anybody that knows the old Bosches, you know they are nowhere near that long. But it looks like everything in here is kind of holding up, doing well. So just about done with the oil change. And I'll tell you the other thing that makes me nervous nowadays, I don't think I would do carbs again, mainly because Richard sold PMO. And without his support, I don't know how that's all gonna work. Hopefully somebody, maybe Abbott or somebody like that is gonna, you know, start helping people with that stuff. But when you ordered a set of PMOs from Richard, they came ready to run out of the box. I don't think Dance is gonna provide that level of support. We also did the return fuel system. This one, yeah, we made a couple of custom hoses and things like that to make sure that this stuff would last for a long time. So all that's holding up well. The tail rubber is holding up well too. That's pretty awesome. Let's see what else. This is the original Targa rear glass, and I think it's even got the old school VIN number etched in it. All new seals and everything like that. And then the Targa top, I believe he had that redone by somebody in New Jersey, maybe. And then on the interior, can't take credit for all of it because the owner he went back and added some nice little accoutrement to fit with some of the stuff that we had done, like the plate down at the bottom. And one of the things we did there was we made it so that the plate is actually over the top of the floor mat. But yeah, he had custom floor mats made. He loves his little short shifter. Probably not my my first go-to, but it definitely feels a little more sporty. That Continental radio is just fabulous. I've put him in a bunch of cars now, and you know, it's Bluetooth and all of that stuff. And I believe this dashboard we had done by Classic 9, and same thing with the seats, and it's really also held up well. Now, I don't know, guys, if this car has ever actually seen sun. I know he drives it, but I don't think it gets parked outside very often. I recognize that steering wheel. Came out of one of my cars. He and I traded something on that. But all of these carpets, oh, that's gotten, is that just the light? No, that's come a little loose. But we're not gonna worry about that because nobody goes back there. But yeah, all these trim pieces, everything was brand spanking new. So it looks like it's all holding up very, very well. Yeah, I mean, these Redline parts, they are great. They've gone up in price a little bit, but yeah, these were all new Targa seals. These we actually, I think this is the one where we learned that the replacement front seal that Porsche now sells is actually off of a 964, and it is just way too thick. It won't let the roof sit down properly. It doesn't let the door frame sit down properly. So I think, yeah, we learned that the hard way. Had to take all of that stuff back out and get a seal. I believe the guy in New Jersey sells those. But let's see what else is up here. Paint job's holding up nicely. I think this was a new windshield. I know something about the glass was new, but it looks like even the lights are holding up. And then he wanted all LED turn signals and all that stuff. So it all appears to be working well. Less draw on the electrical system, so I can't complain about that. And I'll say that, you know, the calipers were done by PMB, and I think this was before he brought his plating process in-house, because I think it was this one over here. Yeah, not super excited, but I know that they've changed their process now to bring that stuff in-house. But yeah, I mean, this went from me saying, hey, I'm just going to do a little 60-second short. But as we walk around the car, you know, all of the replacement seals. This was one thing we did. We got all these from Porsche, so those are all a factory or Porsche classic parts. And I will say that made a lot of stuff go easier and work really well. You know, even the what do they call those things? The sweepers on the doors. But let's see, did we do LED dash lights? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, you can see that. And then also, we did the LED headlights. And they look like they're working pretty well. So all in all, I would say that of all the different things that we did to this car, You know, there's nothing that I would say, hey, don't ever go do that again, guys. Well, maybe that MSD ignition box. Yeah, I've had to call the tow truck because of it for my own car, and I've had a couple of customers drop them off because of that damn box. But yeah, other than that, I mean, even these are the technical decal set from Carbone, and sometimes they'll turn silver, but these have all held up really, really nice. Same thing with all of those stickers. So all that stuff held up nice. The harness is nice. My guy, Dennis, you know who you are. But yeah, look at that. We haven't even taken off the original factory mold release. That's pretty amazing. But yeah, I don't think there's anything on this car that I would say, hey, don't do this, because it all worked out very well. I think we put we did put a new the correct badge, but a new badge from Porsche. And then the other thing, some of you guys might have noticed it, but I believe we updated these to the twin springs. So can't really tell unless somebody says something to you. But that second spring, I think it's a 964 part number. That second spring actually makes it where at 60 miles an hour or 70, or I don't know, that's the speed limit in the US, but they will actually work. So trying to keep that old single spring wiper, not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze. But yeah, very, very cool. Very happy that Flash is still in good shape and that the owner's still in love with them. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them on the video. But thanks for coming around and a little bit of reminiscing. So happy that this little car is working this well after that long. Check us out at BreitWerks.com and have a fantastic day.